Hey, this is Simple Living with Biata. Join me as we take 18 acres of raw land and build our dream home in Homestead. My goal is to become more self-sufficient, which means learning new things like using a chainsaw, using heavy machinery, and so much more. Good morning. So I'm gonna do a little bit of gardening because my plants are looking really sad. I don't use synthetic fertilizers, so it can be a little bit more difficult or more expensive to get beautiful plants until you have really good bacterial-based soil. And to get really good bacterial-based soil, you have to use some compost or some manure. And I made my own compost. So this has been something I've been doing for years, but it just turned out so beautifully this time, so amazing and rich looking. A few days ago, I came here and I started making compost tea, which is a beautifully nutrient-dense liquid to fertilize the plants. So I took a couple scoops of compost, some kelp powder, and some other organic liquid fertilizer and put it in a bunch of buckets a few days ago. It smells like seaweed. So now I'm back at it and I'm gonna add that compost tea to the plants. Shoot, I just found a tadpole in one of my buckets, and of course it's just swimming away, so I'm gonna try to pour this one slowly and see if I can find it. Okay, hugelkultur bed is done. Onto the tomato bed. It was really nice walking around the property and seeing at least some of the fruits and vegetables popping up. All right, now that I've done that, I'm gonna go back into the forest. I have to cut the trees still for the hydro line just at the very end. I have about another 100 feet left to do. So I'm gonna go get my chainsaw, bring it way back out in the forest and finish that off. That was such a long walk. I should have just driven here. Okay, I have these 3 birches that I have to take down. The only thing is that there is a wire and they're leaning towards the wire. Luckily, the wire is not a hydro wire, it's just a bell line, and they're really, really strong and big. But I'm gonna try to get them angled somehow away from the hydro line. By the way, I'm like 1,000 feet away from the wetlands. It is way worse with mosquitoes over here than over by the wetlands. Wetlands help destroy the mosquito population. Perfect. It got hung up on the trees that are really close to the line. It didn't land on the line. It's just hung up a little. I have to undercut it. The reason why that didn't go over so well, it was really hard to cut that tree with my saw being in between 2 trees. Couldn't really see what I was doing. I need this tree that's leaning towards the bell line to go that way, which means I'm gonna get rid of all of these trees first so that they don't get in the way, which I was gonna have to do anyways for the trail. I pretty much have everything I can get out of the way so that when I cut this tree, hopefully it swivels and turns the way I want it to go. It got hung up on the poplar, which is better than it getting hung up on the wire. Started cutting this tree here, and I noticed my bar was getting a little bit loose, so I took a look. I lost a nut. Last time I went to go purchase nuts, I got 2. Anyways, it looks like it's gonna rain. I'm gonna walk back. I'm walking back. It is so crazy dark and it just thundered. So I'm gonna go get my car, grab my gear, and then sit in my car for a bit. Well, I can't find the bolt for my chainsaw all this time waiting around through that storm. So I will see you tomorrow. So I just got here, and apparently so did all of the big O for the hydro line. So the hydro line is gonna go through the big O for the entire thing, but they put it at the very front of my driveway. Like, anyone driving by can see that there's like $1,000 worth of big O here. The concrete also wasn't delivered, so they missed that as well. So I'm gonna have to move all of this. I don't know, kind of bummed. Okay, one done. I think I'm actually gonna take some of these through the forest because it's kind of a shortcut to the trail and it'll save us some time later, so. The delivery was my fault because of the phone line that goes over our driveway, and I should have had something propping it up so they could get under. I always forget about it. So moving all of this is on me. Okay, Big O is here, and I'm gonna go back to the other side of my property and finish cutting this hydro trench. Okay, back to this tree where I was yesterday when my chainsaw fell apart. So I'm gonna try a different technique of undercutting this tree. It's where you plunge cut so that you leave a little section at the top and then you cut a little bit more over to the side for the basically release cut at the bottom. No. Oh my gosh. My phone fell and then the tree dropped and it landed on my phone and it smashed the screen. Luckily, it's still functioning. You didn't even get to see the cool plunge cut I did. All right, let's try that again. Okay, well, I have about 60 feet to go. I'm gonna try my best to time lapse it and just get it done. Okay, well, I finished the hydro trail. There's just some brush that I still have to move. I have to cut some more trees for the wood boiler area, so I'm gonna get started on that now. I'm just really exhausted, to be honest, so I'm gonna go get some rest and I will finish clearing the wood boiler section tomorrow. Okay, so I have a list here from my friend who is an electrician, and it is all the things I need to order for hydro next week. So the one thing I do have to do is measure where our post is gonna go. That's gonna have our meter disconnect, which is the smart meter and all the switches, and eventually we're gonna have like plugs there. So I need to measure from the vault to the meter disconnect, how long that's gonna be, and there has to be 10 extra feet at the vault where the transformer is going to be, and there needs to be enough cable to go up the post where the meter disconnect is going to be. So I'm going to measure that, and then I'm going to make my phone call to order this massive list of things. Oh my gosh, I've been on the phone for hours. The concrete skid is here. I'm going to back up, get out of the way. Oh my gosh, this day. So it's been 2 hours since I last picked up my phone to do a video because I was on the phone for hours trying to find all the parts I needed for our hydro to get installed. The thing that took me hours to find was the meter disconnect or the meter combo. So it has a smart meter on the one side, and then it has a unit of 8 circuits and then the main breaker, and it's a 200 amp service for our house. So basically the wire is going to run from the transformer to basically this outdoor setup so that we can finish our side of the work. Hydro One can come and connect the hydro and change out the 2 poles that they need to change out. And then when we go to build the house, we don't have to deal with the hydro company. The electricity company in Ontario is called Hydro One. Roughly this morning, I've spent just over $3,000. That's just this morning, which is absolutely nuts. I'll have to get a grand total for you guys when it comes to what it's going to cost us to put hydro in. It's still way cheaper, even long-term, than solar. Especially in our area, you have to use diesel and a generator for most of the winter unless you get a solar turbine. So it's just a little bit tricky when, you know, we want a fully functioning home and my husband works remote. Requires internet and a working computer most hours of the day. So it is what it is. We're not fully off grid, but we'll have the wood boiler in the septic bed. That makes us partially off grid. All right, it's now 12 o'clock. I only have like 3.5 hours left of today. I'm gonna continue cutting these trees down, and then you'll be able to see all the amazing, crazy things that are gonna happen next week. I'm concerned. Thank you so much for watching us prepare for a huge week next week. So make sure you come back and join me next Sunday when we put in our electrical wire. See you then.
Oh, that's comical. That's good for...
Tell me that is filming, right?
Yeah, he's going to be mixing, eh? I guess so. I'm going to do it.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next week.